evening, everyone. My name is Brandon King here with HBCU Sports. We have a very special person with us. Going to give you a little bit about her background. Uh, 5'4" sophomore out of Lebanon, Tennessee. Coppell High School product has had individual wins in the vault Super 16 with a 9.9. The vault at Georgia on the 16th of January 2023 with the 9.875, victorious at the all around at Georgia with a score of 39.375. The bars at SEMO with a 9.875. The vault at Temple with a 9.9. The floor at the USGA Championships. The win at Georgia that I mentioned makes her the first HBCU gymnast to win the all-around title in a USG second team All-American on bars, a USAG first team All-American. Got a lot here. All around at the TN Collegiate Classic on January the 9th, 2024 with a score of 39.4. First at the Beams at Bowling Green with the score of 9.95. That was on February 11th. The vault at UNH with the score of 9.9 on February the 25th. And most recently, a national champion on the all-around at the recent national meet. Ladies and gentlemen, Fisk University gymnast Morgan Price. How are you doing this afternoon, man?
Hey everybody, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, First of all, thank you for spending a few moments with us this afternoon. I'm just gonna kind of get right into it. Obviously, the hot topic is your achievements at the most recent national meet. So let me just kind of ask, how does it feel to be able to add the word national champion to your already list of decorations?
It feels amazing. This was actually one of my top goals as being an HBCU gymnast. So to it for it to only be my second year and I have already achieved that goal. I just hope to win again and again for my next 2 years that I have left doing college gymnastics. But I'm just so honored to be able to be a part of a historic team and just being able to bring my talents to an HBCU.
And let me ask you this. Obviously, how has you with the huge historic win that you just had, has life changed since that meet? And if so, how?
Um, I mean, life changed a little bit. I mean, I guess I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I've gotten a lot of congratulations from tons of people. I don't know. I mean, I guess it hasn't changed. I'm still the same person. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen you've also made some of the media rounds, on CBS and some of the other places. You've gotten a lot of attention and deservedly so. How did that feel? Being, I guess, on CBS and things of that nature.
Yeah, so I got the call the night before at 10 p.m. They were like, "Hey, Gail King would like to interview you. Could you come?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, yeah, probably. I just have to ask my coach if I'm allowed to go." So I called my coach, and she allowed me to go. And then that next morning, I was in New York, and I was on the show. It was super exciting. I just love being able to just put myself out there and just show the younger generation what they can do as well.
Fantastic. And I know initially, first of all, coming out of high school, you know, being highly touted as you were, you could have went anywhere. You initially were committed to Arkansas. I know your older sister is attending there. She's competing as well, but you decided to attend Fisk. Why did you decide to kind of make that change? And what was it that you saw in the program that they were putting together and what they were doing that caused you to make that change and decide to go there?
I'm sorry. You kept breaking up. I couldn't really hear the end of your question.
Okay, I was saying that you were committed to go to Arkansas and everything, but you obviously changed your mind, reopened your commitment, and ended up at Fisk. What did you see at Fisk in terms of what they were putting together? Obviously, their program was and still is in their infancy. That prompted you to make that change or make that decision, I should say.
I would say it wasn't really that hard of a decision. Obviously, Arkansas has a well-established program, and they have all the wills and the wills, sorry, the whistle and bells that you could have. And obviously, this does not. But honestly, my decision was more than just like for gymnastics. It was more for the younger generation so that they can have an opportunity to do gymnastics at an HBCU as well. And somebody had to be a part of the first team. So I just decided to take that risk, take that chance, and follow my dreams and goals as well because I've always wanted to go to an HBCU. So I just felt like it was the perfect timing for me. Obviously, this doesn't have as much as Arkansas does, but the school is working with us, and we're really trying to build a gym so that we can have a gym to ourselves. Because right now we train at a club gym here close to the school.
Okay, that makes sense. Obviously, with you, deciding to do that, there's a lot of some of those challenges, and you just touched on them. There been any other things that growing pains, as the program is starting to build, and obviously y'all are having some success. That you've seen in how you all are kind of obviously dealing with that, but also you're still striving and succeeding in spite of that.
Yes, we definitely are. Like I said, we're trying to raise as much money as we can for our gym, and also looking for people to like help with scholarships, internships, and things like that. Because obviously we care about gymnastics, of course, but also about education, internships, and like what we're gonna do outside of the gym. So we are really working hard team, even though we might not have as much as everybody else. But again, I feel like being on this team just shows that we are good enough and we can do just as good as other schools, even if we have less as them.
Well, you're right, and obviously with the track record that you all already put together, you've shown, said even without, like you said, some of the bells and whistles, you're still getting out there and competing, and then a lot of times kicking some tushy of some larger programs, and it just shows that what you all are doing at Fisk, and obviously we've seen what's going on at Talladega. The HBCU gymnastics is really picking up, and kind of with you being obviously with the national title win, you're at the forefront of that right now. How does that feel to not only be at a program that's trailblazing in terms literally of every meet that you compete in, there's almost some sort of first being set, not only from a team, but from an HBCU standpoint, but as it relates to you, an individual standpoint, how does that feel?
Um, it feels amazing again. I'm so honored to just being able to just be able to make history one, being an HBCU gymnast, being part of the first team, and then like as my accolades like just keep going and going, I just like am even more proud of myself every single day because I know that it shows again the younger generation that they can go to an HBCU and be a national title winner on vault, bars, beam floor, and the all around. So I just hope that like my gymnastics shows and like how my accomplishments really intrigue other athletes to just keep going and to go to an HBCU and do gymnastics.
Definitely, with what you're doing, you're definitely inspiring the next generation of future gymnasts. And I'm sure, and I don't want to speak for you, that there's got to be fulfilling feeling, but also, and you've touched on it, you have a sense of responsibility to make sure that the sport is in a better place for the next generation. Oh,
I'm sorry, my allergies are really bad. I'm sorry. But yes, I do. I'm also a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to gymnastics. So every time that I go out there and just show off my gymnastics, I always just want to do as best as I can, of course, because I know little girls are watching. We always have fans come to our meets and stuff, and every time there's always a little girl in a little Fisk leotard, or even Talladega, since they're another HBCU who has gymnastics. And I just feel like when we see that, when we see our fans, younger girls coming to the meets, it really just shows that like what we're doing is really inspiring and changing the generation.
that's super. That is absolutely super. Let's kind of go down memory lane to Little Morgan. And let me ask this, because every athlete, their journey to from where they started to where they are at this at a given point in time where they're having success and things of that nature. It's an individual journey, but it's also an interesting one. So in that rhythm, when did you fall in love with gymnastics?
I would definitely say at a really young age. I started when I was 2 years old, and I'm 18 now. So, probably when I started competing around like 5. I love to compete. I'm a very competitive person, and I love to just give off a show. So, especially like in my floor routine, I really like to show off my personality and just interact with the crowd and the judges so that they can see like a little piece of me outside of gymnastics, almost, so that they can see my personality. um, but I've always loved the sport. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm always fascinated about just how athletes got to the point that they were, that they are, and that I just love to hear about those stories, those things of that nature. And you said you started this at 2. So was there a point, or at what point would you say, and maybe it may not have been necessarily you seeing it, maybe it was a coach, a parent, or like one of your parents that saw something like, hey, she's got something special here. Let's continue to foster and cultivate this talent that she has, and see where it can go. Was there ever a flashpoint moment to where you realized that, or maybe someone else saw that in you?
I feel like I kind of saw it in myself. In the sport of gymnastics, you definitely have to have a lot of self confidence and self discipline. So it really comes from a young age. I feel like when I began to do level 9 and level 10, because there's levels 1 through 10 before you get to college gymnastics. So when I began level 9 and moving into level 10, I feel like I really saw that like spark in me to like keep going and move to that next level of college gymnastics. And that's when I started like reaching out to colleges and going on visits and things like that.
Okay, like I said, that's always just fascinating for me to hear. And like I said, you mentioned the different levels and everything. Let me ask this: when you look at what, and you may not even be, well, yeah, you probably are. Let me not say that. But is there what is like your long term? Are you looking to possibly compete, representing your country in the Olympics, or go the professional route, or there's I found out there's a lot of ways that you can go. So how far are you looking to take your gymnastic talents?
Unfortunately, I'm not looking to go to the Olympics. That's like a whole different type of training for gymnastics. And personally, me, I just um didn't train like for that. Unfortunately, there's not like a professional league of gymnastics, at least that I know of. So unfortunately, after like my next 2 years, I will be done. But I really want to be a HBCU gymnastics head coach. So I will probably work on that and also do something in the sports field after I finish gymnastics.
Okay. Well, said obviously you're continuing to have this sort of success. I have this kind of a personal question that I've always wondered. What does a typical day look like in terms of like training and things of that nature? You train in the morning or afternoon? I know you've got class and everything, but in terms of your training regimen, what does a typical day look like, if there even is a typical day?
Yeah, so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we normally have lift in the morning at 7 a.m. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll go to lift at 7, and then I'll normally go to the calf with my teammates since we're already all together. And then um fortunately, I don't have class on Tuesdays or Thursdays. So after that, I just kind of chill until practice time from 12 to 3, and then after the day, I just do extra curricular activities. I am a part of a sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, so I do events for that in my free time. But on like the normal day, if we don't have lift in the morning, class at like 10 o'clock, and then I'll go to practice from 12 to 3, and then sometimes I'll have a class at like 5 p.m., and then that's really takes up my whole day.
Well, Morgan, again, I appreciate you spending a few moments with us, and once again, want to congratulate you on the success that you're having, um, and want to see, hopefully you continue to do that and push forth, not only uh, with what on the individual level with what you're doing, but also with the university, and obviously you're pushing HBCU gymnastics as a whole forward. And just want to wish you continued success in all your efforts, and we'll definitely be watching.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.